Is the UAE now desperately begging for peace even as Iran quietly prepares what could be a devastating response, caught between two warring powers on either side of its own borders? As the United States launches its 8th consecutive night of strikes on Iran, is the UAE pleading for calm while Tehran simultaneously warns that far greater chaos could still be coming? Have Mojtaba Khamenei's promised unforgettable lessons already begun? And does this mean a full-scale regional war is now genuinely incoming rather than just another round of threats? Is something massive really about to unfold in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, as mounting regional warnings suggest the UAE may no longer be able to stay on the sidelines of this conflict? Just 24 hours earlier, had Iran already warned the UAE to evacuate its major airports and ports, giving Abu Dhabi almost no time to prepare for what might come next? Amid renewed and rapidly escalating tensions, the UAE has publicly urged both the United States and Iran to step back from the brink of a war that threatens to consume the entire region. According to Gulf Business, the UAE issued a formal call on July 18 for an immediate halt to the rapidly escalating conflict between the United States and Iran. Abu Dhabi stated plainly that it is deeply concerned by the recent military developments unfolding across the region, signaling real anxiety at the highest levels of Emirati government. The UAE further warned that the region must not be allowed to slide any deeper into violence and instability, cautioning that the consequences could soon become irreversible. UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs said, and I quote, "The UAE expresses its deep concern over the developments that the region has witnessed over the past few days, and has called for an immediate halt to the escalation and to avoid exacerbating tensions and instability in the region." The UAE called for exercising the utmost restraint in order to avoid dangerous repercussions, and the region being pulled into new levels of violence and instability. The UAE called for an immediate end to hostilities and a swift return to negotiations, and stressed the importance of ensuring safe, uninterrupted navigation through the Strait of Hormuz, calling it vital to the global economy. The UAE emphasized that the targeting of civilian infrastructure and civilian facilities in the region, including schools, universities, hospitals, desalination plants, energy facilities, transportation hubs and residential areas constitute a flagrant and grave violation of the established principles and provisions of international law, and cannot, under any circumstances, be accepted or justified. Unquote. Interestingly, a senior Iranian security official had already warned the UAE on July 18 to evacuate its key transport hubs, adding real urgency to Abu Dhabi's public plea for de-escalation. The Iranian warning specifically stated that airports and major ports across the UAE could face direct retaliatory strikes if the United States carried out further attacks on Iranian soil. The UAE's urgent statement came just before the United States launched its 8th consecutive night of airstrikes on Iran, meaning Abu Dhabi's plea for peace went unanswered almost immediately. According to the Iranian military, the attacks targeted an ammunition depot at Camp Al-Adari inside Kuwaiti territory. Iran also claimed it struck personnel and equipment facilities at Ali al-Salem Air Base during the operation. Tehran said the latest operation followed similar drone attacks against U.S. targets carried out on July 18. Iran described the strikes as part of what it called an expanding campaign against American military forces across the region. Iran's army said, and I quote, "Following the violation of international treaties and the arrogant enemy's crimes in civilian areas, the Islamic Republic of Iran Army, in the new round of drone attacks and the 17th stage of Operation Lightning, has again targeted the American terrorist army's ammunition warehouse in Al-Adari camp and the equipment and personnel sheds of this child-killing army in Kuwait's Ali al-Salem base." The Army of the Islamic Republic of Iran emphasized, "Our war is to defend Iran's authentic identity and its thousands of years of history, and the people who neither do oppression nor accept oppression in the light of Islamic teachings. Therefore, the soldiers of the army, with deep belief in this divine teaching, stand firm in the face of the enemies of Iran and humanity to defend the honorable people." Unquote. Earlier, videos circulating online claimed to show U.S. missile launches from military bases inside Kuwait. The footage purportedly showed U.S. forces firing ATACMS ballistic missiles toward Iranian territory. Iran has reportedly modified its missile arsenal to better challenge U.S. air and missile defense networks, according to the Wall Street Journal. Officials told the newspaper that Tehran used high-speed missiles capable of maneuvering during the final phase of their descent. U.S. officials said the adaptations helped Iran place greater pressure on sensitive American military targets across the region. Washington remains concerned as Iran continues missile and drone strikes against U.S. positions in the Middle East. Meanwhile, U.S. Central Command said American forces launched a fresh round of airstrikes against military targets inside Iran. The U.S. military said the operation targeted capabilities used to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM also said the strikes hit IRGC-linked elements allegedly involved in attacks against U.S. troops stationed in Jordan. According to the Pentagon, the latest operation was carried out under orders from President Donald Trump. Trump described the deaths of 2 U.S. service members in recent Iranian attacks as very sad. The U.S. president also said he couldn't care less if Iran chose to abandon the Memorandum of Understanding. U.S. Central Command confirmed 2 American service members were killed as a result of an Iranian attack, a development that marks a serious escalation in the ongoing regional confrontations. CENTCOM says the 2 service members died on July 17 after an Iranian missile struck a position in Jordan, with the incident occurring amid a broader wave of strikes and counterstrikes. In addition to the confirmed fatalities, CENTCOM reports that a 3rd service member is currently listed as missing in action, and search and recovery operations are underway to determine their status. For other U.S. personnel who sustained injuries in the same series of attacks were medically evacuated and admitted to Jordanian hospitals for treatment and stabilization, according to military statements. CENTCOM reports that several additional service members who suffered relatively minor injuries were treated and subsequently returned to duty, reflecting a mix of casualty severities from the strike. Military officials said they would not publicly identify the fallen troops until all next of kin had been properly notified, following standard protocol for casualty announcements. After the strikes, Iranian authorities released a public message directed at Jordanians, framing the attacks as a response to foreign military activity and urging local actors to reconsider cooperation with U.S. forces.